We're observing the size of the seed heads on these plants compared to normal. They're much more vigorous and bigger size than what we've normally observed in the past. The plants are very, very healthy. What we're managing for at this time of the year is, in the Rhodes grass in particular, is for the plant to put out its runners. So it's sending out these runners here now, and we're looking for these to strike and start getting ground cover across these areas that haven't got it on. This here is Paddock, so that doesn't send out the runners like this Rhodes grass does, but we're looking for that bit of cover to come. And we've noticed that these runners are very, very vigorous, and if you notice on this one here that I'm pulling, that one there's already got roots down over there, so that's got a hold on that soil already.
So it's going to cover the bare areas.
Yeah, it's going to cover this. So this bare patch here will be covered up. So that's what we're looking for the plant to do now in the first year, is get itself well established and get that bit of cover over where it needs it. And then once we feel that that sort of cover's there, we'll bring the cattle in and graze this pasture off, and bring it into the rotational grazing system on the property. But this first part of its production is to let the plants get set up, store good carbohydrate levels down in their root base, so that they can produce this and get into the grazing cycle. So there's a bit of chicory under there, Adrian, so we're getting a bit of diversity of species on these soil types, which has been very difficult in the past. This chicory survived all the way through that hot summer and has come right through into the autumn and winter.
So one of the things that we like to do to have a look at plants is not just look at the top, but actually get the shovel out and have a look, see what's going on the ground, because it's actually under the ground, and what's happening there and the roots determine whether we're going to build the carbon in our soil, as well as grow productive pasture, and it's all to do with the root structures. And so we like to dig it out, have a look, and we actually prefer to wash the soil off the roots, and that way we get a better view of the extent of the fine roots, etc., because that's where we've all the little microbes, etc., develop.
Yeah, the chicory, the reason why we chose chicory was because of the good root development and its ability to survive over a long dry summer like we get here, with storing its energy in the root system, in the big tap root system, and it provides very good feed for the cattle. It's got herbage that grows, well, with this variety it grows basically all year round and will keep on growing in summer and provide good summer feed as well.
Yeah, I think the root system that we're seeing there is very, very, very diverse and developed, I guess you could say. Compared to what we'd normally see in these soil types. It's a very thick mat. Adrian's just trying to rinse it off there, but that's it's very, very prolific root system, and I think that's been its key to its survival over that very long hot dry period that it had, with only sort of just less than 2 inches to get established on, and then to go right through nearly 4 months with no rain. I think that's been the key to it, is that fantastic root system that it's got.
So just to share the experience that others have found, start getting the mycorrhizal VAM colonisation and feeding them up with the humic products out of the lignin brown coal, is that there's much higher exudates or much more liquids or microbial activity in and around the root zone. It is in fact that microbial activity and their exudates, or what they pass on, is what is building the carbon levels in the soil. And the key is that the coal that we're using is in fact a catalyst to feeding up the microbes and making the minerals more available. It's not the direct humic input, it's the leverage effect, if you like, of a small amount of carbon in the form of humic acid with the minerals and the microbe inoculant is what is building carbon levels in the soil, as well as improving the profit on the enterprise, as Sean has introduced by their experience on this property.
So Adrian's digging up a panic plant now to have a look at the root system there, and he's going fairly hard, trying to get those roots out, and it's hanging on really well.
It's a massive root. Have a look at it. The key distinguishing factor between biological establishment of plants is that it's more in keeping with nature. But if you've got high amounts of fertiliser, acid and salt fertiliser going into the system, you just do not get roots like that. And certainly you don't get all this really fine colonisation that's all. You can see the soil is sticking to the roots there, and that's because of the microbes exudates, or what they pass through their activity in their body, is like a glue, and that aggregates the soil around the roots. And even if the soil is actually hostile from being too much minerals or those sort of things, just right in that root zone there now, you've got the plant has got the energy and are able to establish perfect growing of the pH of the soil and those things that'll balance it out how it wants it, just in that root zone. So the bigger and more prolific we're able to get all the root zone, and I'd have to say I haven't ever seen anything quite as big as an extensive of that on a plant.
It's a single plant, isn't it?
On a single plant,
yeah.
Over such a short time, it is amazing. You can see all of that, even all these real fine hairs here, that same glue, soil sticking there from the glues and the microbes. So
you can see that mound of soil that it was actually hanging onto, that all came off when you shook it out. I think it's pretty important. Yeah.
A lot of people would not try and farm in that soil, but with this technology it can be very, very productive. That's seriously amazing, isn't it? Have a look. Goodness, hey.